Welcome to the program. This afternoon, the Ghana Police Service has launched an investigation into an alleged baby theft at Mamprobi Polyclinic. According to the police, the suspect claimed she had delivered at the facility due to no available beds, but police say there's no evidence to support the story. Director of Public Affairs, Superintendent Juliana Obin, confirmed the baby has been recovered and is receiving medical treatment. The suspect remains in custody as investigations continue. We'll hear from the police shortly, but first, the relatives in the community are blaming the theft on poor security at the hospital, calling for all health officers to be sacked, else legal action will be taken.
And we haven't slept since yesterday night. I went off around 4 a.m. and we just wake up around like 4:30 and died.
So what actually happened?
The parent said like, this thing that happened, it happened to Obia. Or did I send home by as next form? Just say, baby, alright. I also camera a bit capture everyone a bed and a room. What I say.
So right now, what do you want? Now the baby has been found. Do you think they should let everything go, or you?
No, we are taking a legal action because the mom is being traumatized, and so
she's traumatized.
What happened here was that, to me, I noticed that it was lack of security, and here have been a good hospital, but so far what we noticed that everything here have gotten spots, because I don't see the reason why that somebody can come and give birth here and just within a few minutes or within a few seconds someone from outside can get advantage and take the baby just like that. If you yourself, you are a woman, you will know that what went on here wasn't a good thing. And even for those people that, especially the security, the nurses, and those people who were talking behind the scene when this thing started, I feel that they are all guilty.
The doctors and the nurses over here, even the securities over here, they should employ the correct. They should employ correct securities over here so that they should work. The securities should be work to maintain order and peace. So if they need peace, they have to change the security so that everything should be nice.
Now the baby has been found. The mother is in good condition. What do you have to say about that?
About the baby who has been found? We thank God, because a woman will go to a labor without coming out with a child. It's not a good thing. So everything we are saying is, we are pleading on behalf of the minister. He should do something over here.
Nurse funny doctors or more no more serious because gate way and tomb me bra baby beda yet me at 12 o'clock na gate need that it will be at me born remu keke hospital be anywhere allow 7 obi at me born remu sai was at least security near tight oh be my busa o de ntia o ba ha ba ye busa o hwe na o kwaba afa so security for na omo ye adwuma no omo nya serious omo hwe asala saa na young girls doctors no more announce no e was say ye omo nyina akofie na mo good training because omo need to see e bia I say, what if you send us near some about Nasa or Papa or Power? It's your serve and say, I have particular, yes, it's all be our if it's in Kuala to be simple for so yes, it's someone now. Manuel Simida, your family comfort. Bamano. Aye.
So those were scenes earlier at the Mamprobi Polyclinic here in Accra. Meanwhile, the Ghana Police Service says it has launched investigations into the incident to apprehend any other accomplices.
Police Service, the Accra Regional Police Command, and the Divisional Command Dansoman. We welcome all of you to the Dansoman Divisional Headquarters this afternoon to give you a brief on a child stealing incident reported in Mamprobi and the subsequent arrest of a suspect by the Dansoman Divisional Command. Now, this briefing intends to provide the facts of the case, the actions taken by the police so far, and important safety measures for the public. The Dansoman Divisional Police Command of the Ghana Police Service has arrested suspect Latifa Salifu in connection with the stealing of a 4-day-old baby boy from the postnatal ward of Mamprobi Hospital here in Accra. The arrest follows swift police investigations and public cooperation after the incident was reported on Tuesday, the 17th of February 2026. On the 17th of February 2026 at about 10 a.m., one Abigail Jukini, accompanied by Henrietta Abbey Blessed, reported to the police that an unidentified woman disguised as a nurse and had stolen a newborn baby from the hospital's postnatal ward. The baby's mother, Precious Ankoma, informed the police that she delivered the baby boy on the 14th of February 2026. She stated that a woman dressed in a nurse's peach-colored uniform took the baby under the pretext of administering medication and disappeared thereafter. Police immediately visited the facility, obtained statements, and immediately launched a manhunt for the suspect. This afternoon, it is refreshing to know that today at about 3:40 this morning, the police arrested a suspect, Latifa Salifu, who is 33 years of age and is a cloth seller here in Accra at the premises of Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where she was found with a baby suspected to have been the missing child. Suspects claimed that she had delivered at the hospital and was discharged due to lack of beds. However, police investigations at the hospital revealed there was no records to support her claim. The suspect is currently in police custody whilst arrangements are underway to place the baby under hospital care for safekeeping, further investigations, and medical attention. At this moment, the police would want to remind the public, particularly health facilities and families, to remain vigilant and observe the following measures. We expect that for hospitals and health facilities, we enforce strict identification protocols for staff and for visitors, ensure babies are released only after proper verification, install and monitor CCTV systems in maternity wards and other wards, including entrances. We also expect that we maintain visitors' logs and restrict access to postnatal wards. Report suspicious persons or activities immediately. Meanwhile, this morning, at the time of the incident and at the time of the arrest, the Minister for Gender and Children and Social Protection, Honorable Na Momo, and the Honorable Member for Parliament for Ablekuma South, including the Regional Police Commander, DCOP Dut Tuaruka, has visited the Divisional Police Command and has also gone to the facility where the incident happened and has assured and provided adequate security to obstruct future occurrences. The Accra Regional Police Command commends the general public and the whistleblower for their vigilance and cooperation. Investigations are ongoing and further updates will be communicated soon. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, we'll take it from here. Thank you.
So are we able to see this as well? Yes.
If there are any questions, please we'll take it from here.
Yes, there's a question. They say for
the baby is a 4-day-old baby boy.
Now, your person, he says it's a disguised as a nurse.
Exactly.
But there's a supposed CCTV camera showing the suspect allegedly leaving the hospital with the baby, and the close look at it doesn't show.
Well, let's bring in the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Na Momo Latte, for more on this. Minister, grateful for your time this afternoon. You were at the scene earlier today to witness what happened. What information have you gathered so far?
Hello.
Hello, Minister. I can hear you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Let me thank you very much for this opportunity. And let me also take the opportunity to thank the general public, thank the police and the community for the vigilance for which today our hearts are gladdened that we found the baby boy. It was a sad one because to have your baby and then few days later after you've bonded, I mean, the baby disappears. It's a sad one, but we want to thank God for the cooperation and collaboration so far that has led to the baby being reunited with the mother. And so I can say that as we speak, the mother and then the child are going through some medical checks, and then we hope that everything will be okay.
Right, and Minister, we were getting reports that the alleged baby thief had some mental problems. Have you been able to establish that? Do we have the gender minister on the line? Right, Agnes Namomolate is the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. Unfortunately, we appear to have lost her on the line, but she was giving us more update on the alleged baby theft that happened at the Mamprobi Polyclinic earlier today, right here in Accra. The information we're getting from the Minister and the Ghana Police Service is that the baby has successfully been recovered. I understand we have the Minister back on the line. I want to believe you can hear me this time. I was asking that the alleged baby thief, we were getting reports that she had mental problems. Have you been able to establish that as a fact?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so the truth is that anybody who will go to this extent is definitely not in the right frame of mind. And so that person needs some kind of support. And the general public is not kind because we all know through what women goes through in order to have a child. And so currently the empathy is not there for her, but a little background into the suspect's life, married life, family life. I realized that things might not be that well. Like I was trying to put across earlier, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is very much interested in this particular case, in the welfare of mother and child, and also the welfare of the suspect. And so we're going to work aside all the legal processes that she has to go through. I'm also in touch with the husband of the suspect. And so we're going to make sure that there's enough support base for her to be able to recover and then also face the rigors of the law.
Right.
But we want her to be well and whole.
Yeah, the swift apprehension of the suspect has been commended by a lot of people across the country. Run us through the process. How was she apprehended and where? Okay,
I want to thank a whistleblower who actually identified her from the pictures that came up and also saw some suspicious moves from around the community, within the community, and then she reported. And so the whistleblower was able to, give much information that led to the arrest. I also want to thank the police that they didn't brush off the information that they got, but working with them, the ministry does a lot of work with them. The collaboration has always been effective and swift. And so that is how they were, the suspect was arrested. And the community members have also been very helpful. You would have picked from the ground that they were not too charitable in terms of their words and actions since the baby got missing. And so today we want to thank God that all of us have been able to collaborate to bring baby back to the mother. I want to thank everybody, especially the media as well, for carrying the story through and then ensuring that everybody, the public, gets carried along and updated. I want to thank all of you. We need to be more vigilant. And like I said, I'll prepare a full briefing and then update the president and then also ensure that the Minister for Health is also in the picture, fully in the picture. Of course, the structures, the health structures are there, and they are going to report to him. But the lessons we've learned, some of the weaknesses, we had a debriefing after the whole incident, and we've been able to pick a few issues that we think that we can collaborate to ensure that we have stronger and more secured systems in our public spaces. And I think that will go a long way to help all of us.
Right. Per the CCTV footages we saw that the woman was covering the child's face. But when the child was successfully retrieved, did you notice any bodily harm, although you've made it known to us that they are currently undergoing medical treatment?
Yes, the baby, you know, the umbilical cord is yet to completely come off. And initially, we hesitated in bringing the news out until we were very certain it was actually the baby.
Right.
There was a birthmark that the father of the baby mentioned. And so we looked around and we saw the birthmark. There was a mark that had been made on the baby, but that was not a permanent mark. But something on the forehead, a mark on the forehead, which we were able to, you know, erase and realize that, okay, so that was the baby. All of these things confirming the baby and all that, we realized also that the baby was running temperature. And of course, a newborn baby, 4 days and out of the hospital, had a little medical issue even before he was taken away. And so it was only proper that we quickly bring in the medical experts to ensure that they attended to the baby. Not just the baby, but the mother also underwent CS, cesarean session. So the mother also was complaining of feverishness, I think as a result of the stress and all that, and she's not been eating well since the baby was taken. And so we're able to get the medical team to take care of all of them. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is taking up the medical bills and everything that will come, including the cost of providing psychosocial support for mother and child and even the suspect.
And Minister, what more do we know about this suspect, her background? What do we know about her?
Without meaning to give too much information out, I just want to say that she is a woman in desperate need of a child. And so I think she saw a very convenient environment and took advantage of it. That is what I can say. That is the more reason why we want to support her. And like I said, the president of the country is interested in supporting. I've also spoken to the husband that, yes, what she did is not too commendable. It's not commendable, but it doesn't mean that we should completely reject her. We have to extend some support to her, and his understanding and cooperation will be helpful for her full recovery. Because what she's been through is also quite traumatic, whichever way you look at it. So we need to support her to recover and then see what avenues there are to bring down her desperation and support her to also achieve her aspirations.
Does she have any relations with the couple she stole their baby?
No, not that I know of. Not that I know of.
And there are whispers that she is a health officer at that particular facility. Any truth in that?
Okay, as of the time I was there, it didn't come out as she being a health officer. I don't have that information at hand.
Right, and Minister, this is not the first time we are hearing of baby theft. It usually occurs in various health facilities, and it's usually women who do that. You've told us that this woman in particular is in desperate need for a child. With the other cases that have happened in other hospitals, is the reason behind the baby theft similar?
It used to be more rampant than now. I think there've been more tighter security over the years, and I think it's brought the cases down. However, most women, because of the way we are oriented, every woman is expected to start producing as soon as she gets married. And after a certain age, everybody looks at you, and barrenness is is seen as a curse. And so some of these things push women beyond their boundaries to do things that are unthinkable. And so the very society that pushes you to get a baby, whichever way, is the same society that will condemn you for, going for the baby. I only encourage women that whatever the situation is, there's always a way out. And talking about it with professionals will help you to come out of it, in a better way. In this particular situation, and like some of them, it is the society, the community, calling on them to produce. And in some cases, there are threats that if you don't get a child by this time, you lose your marriage. And if your husband is so good to you, you don't even want to think of losing the husband or partner. You don't want to. But the community within which you live will not let you rest. The society will not let you rest until they see or hear the cry of a baby. And these are some of the things that push women to do the things that you see them do. We are trying to do a lot of sensitization. Over the period, we've been doing that for them to know that there's help out there medically and in all ways to ensure that women, the fertility rate of women is high. But it is not every woman that goes through the situation and gets a child. And most people are not patient with the process. They are not patient at all. And so there's pressure, sometimes even from the spouses, immediate families, in-laws, and the entire community. Right. And that is so much for a woman to bear. And so these are some of the things that give rise to women being pushed to go and pick up babies. There are others who also pick up, and then it is for trafficking purposes. So they pick the babies and then they go and sell them off for which or whatever reason it is. So, apart from that, these are the situations that push women to go in and pick up children that are still children, if I can say.
Right. And going forward, what advice would you give to Mamprobi Polyclinic and, in fact, all the other health facilities across the country to put in place to ensure the optimum protection of vulnerable people like that 4-year-old baby who was stolen but thankfully was found? 4 days, I beg your pardon.
First of all, let me appeal to the community, the Mamprobi community and the communities around. This is one of those few incidents that you don't want it reoccurring. It is very unfortunate that this has happened. And I appeal to them. Growing up, if you are counting on hospitals or polyclinics that have very good maternal or deliveries, it is one of, Mamprobi is one of those places that you can count on. They are professionals and they deliver good or quality services. I don't want a situation, or it is not so good for us to, completely run them off run them down because of what has happened. The community is up in arms, and I think it is not proper. The assurances from the police is that they are going to protect the facility and the health workers, and that one will follow up. But I also want to encourage every woman going through a situation of this nature that it is not a hopeless situation. You need just to speak to the right people. There's a counseling unit with the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection. There are social workers who can also support you. There are people all over who can, help you go through this process successfully. So I will encourage them that they shouldn't do the unthinkable. The health facilities need more secured systems. And like I was saying there, when we talk about security, we are not talking about just the physical presence of any human being there, but you are talking about security in terms of from the time that the person enters the facility right until the person exits. So the paper trails are one, and then also the physical security, like I said. The cameras and things, the CCTV cameras were helpful in this case, and they are always helpful. And so I will encourage them not to leave room for people to pick up babies or still babies or any valuables or harm even others within their health facilities and public spaces. So I'm encouraging us all to do our part. But I also want to encourage, I want to appreciate the media for the work you have done, bringing it to the fore and then pursuing it to the latter. And I'm sure that we are all going to follow suit to ensure that indeed the mother and child are well. And then also taking up the medical bills, as I initially said.
Right. We know by now that the suspect is in custody. Is your ministry going to collaborate with the Ghana Police Service to ensure that this woman faces the full rigors of the law, or you feel like she deserves a second chance?
The law will work. The law will work, but then we also don't want to leave it just at the legal level. At the social level, even if she goes to prison and she returns, we want her returning as a better citizen. And then aside that, we also want the law to work, but in doing so, it should reform the individual. And so, like I said, the social support that she needs, we are going to make sure that by the time she's properly reintegrated into society, she's a better person. And she can even be a shining example unto many. That is what I would say. She will face the law, but we also want to make sure that her issues are not brushed off, but they are issues that can be attended to, and then she will be a better person.
Right.
We are asking the family not to neglect her because of what has happened, not to reject her, but to embrace her and offer her the needed support.
The issue about CCTV has come to the fore because it was through the CCTV that led to her swift apprehension. But it's not all health facilities across the country or even in the capital that have CCTV installed in their facilities. Is the ministry going to do something to collaborate or assist with these health facilities, especially the children wards, to ensure that there's an adequate installation of CCTV equipment for instances like this?
So, like I said, one of the first things is to look at the lessons from what has happened and then pick on those issues with the Minister for Health. And then I've also told you we'll have a full briefing to the President. His Excellency is aware and updated up to this point. We'll give a full briefing and then we'll pick up the issues. Yes, if the CCTV had not been available, it would have been quite difficult. Yes, the whistleblower would have come in,
right.
But I think identifying the image of the person made her suspicion, gave some authenticity to her suspicion, and then she came out boldly to report. And so we will work with all the facts on the ground and then make sure that the lessons are not something we will just put on our shelves, but we will pick them up and work with them. The social workers, like in this case, I have also tasked the social worker there to make sure that her eyes are all over and not just sitting maybe behind her desk, because it is one of the things they need to do, to also go around and monitor and ensure that things are properly, done.
Right. We know that the Ghana Police Service has launched a probe into this, investigating the circumstances that led to that theft. But will the Ministry of Gender also launch an independent probe to ensure that indeed, whether she was not assisted from within, whether she didn't get any help from some health workers within the hospital? Are you going to do anything like that?
Absolutely. It was one of the things that came up, that maybe there's a collaborator within, and we don't want to leave everything because the timing of everything is quite suspicious. And working with the police, that is what we've always done. The CID, the police unit has always been very helpful to us, and then we are going to continue working with them. But we are not ruling out the possibility of an insider work. And so that is one of the things we'll do. We'll follow up with the investigations. They will do a professional work. We will also do our side of it. And then we'll more or less bring the reports together,
right,
and then highlight the key issues that are worth noting. And so that is what we'll be doing. We'll collaborate with all stakeholders.
Okay. Agnes Namomolate, thank you very much for your time this afternoon. She's the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection. You're still watching the Pulse here on the Joy News channel. And let's seek some security perspective on this. And Dr. Victor Doke is a security analyst. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Doc, the Ghana Police Service has already launched investigation into this particular matter. But from a security point of view, do you think that the security at the Mamprobi Polyclinic should have been beefed up, and that could be the reason why the woman was able to sneak through and out without being detected?
Very much, Carlos. I think, one, we've taken our security very lightly. Why do I say so? You have incidents such as this and others happening. You've installed CCTV cameras. You've even employed, private security personnel to man your property, and still you have theft and others.
Dr. Doke, now, I am struggling to hear you. If you can kindly reposition yourself.
Can you hear me?
Let's try one more time.
Is it better?
Yes, it is.
Right. So I was saying that when we have physical security in the sense that we employ the physical presence of private security personnel to man our property, we've installed CCTV cameras, yet still we have thefts such as these and others going on. Now, one would think that when you have a CCTV camera and the monitor is in the room, there should be a dedicated personnel who is trained to what? Identify such things and then prompt authorities when anything is untoward going on. But that didn't happen. The woman went in there. You have midwifery nurses, okay, including the directors and everybody there, who were supposed to be vigilant at all times because there's a newborn baby, a 4-day-old baby there. The mother has gone through CS, so is very ill to look after the baby. Now, this woman goes in there, picks up the baby, and walks out for what? An onlooker to identify. The private security guard was there and didn't notice any suspicious thing. Assuming this woman had an explosive or wanted to set fire, what would have happened? Then we'll see what would have happened. So all of this put together means that we have not been taking our security seriously.
Right. That means clearly there was a breach of security at the health facility.
100% breach of security, right from the outer perimeter, where the physical security guard was supposed to monitor. Of course, you can't ask anybody questions, but you know faces who come in and out, in some specific times. And then suspicions about people carrying certain items underneath their bodies and all of that. Down to the inner perimeter where the baby was kept. And then the room where the CCTV monitor was being transmitted. Obviously, there was nobody there to watch the screens. Otherwise, they would have seen the mannerism of the woman, how she's hurriedly coming out, or even the corridors where the CCTV has been mounted, the screens have been mounted, the cameras have been mounted from the outer to the corridors of the inner core of the clinic itself. These were not done.
This is not the first time we have seen a case of thievery happen and then see excerpts of it on a CCTV camera after they've happened. What could be the reason why we install CCTV camera at various facilities, hospitals, shops, and all that, but we don't pay particular attention to them, but rather tend to, examine them after the incident has occurred? What could be the reason behind that?
One could be just to tick the box, because you have a hospital or you have any facility of a high grade, there are workers in there, inflows of cash coming in, drugs and whatnot. And so you want to tick the box and have the security systems installed, which is very good. You've gone even to the extent of hiring a private security to come in there. Now, the aspect of monitoring your security, being self-aware of the environment and everyday aspect of a threat happening is what we lack. Of course, everybody goes in throughout the week, Monday to Sunday, nothing happens. So there's laxity, the relaxation, that once the CCTV camera is there, we can go back and play. And it also brings to the question whether we should get CCTV cameras that only record and then later we play, or get, the actual ones that record and prompt you. And so these are the various ones. So now we need to have a discussion as to what specific kind of security systems to be installed in the hospitals or the state agencies, so that if something untoward is happening, it will quickly prompt for quick reaction, and not to have this kind of incident where the baby has been taken away and then we now go threaten the staff in there to play the CCTV camera, and then we apprehend the culprit.
Right. What role do you think the Ghana Health Service, for instance, can play in ensuring that there's tighter security at Mamprobi Polyclinic and indeed all other government health facilities across the country to ensure that these things do not recur?
I think there was a time when the authorities were very strict on allowing people, visitors, into the core of where the patients are. So if you are not a core member of the family or the patient, you are not allowed to them. So right when the person is admitted, how many are allowed or will be allowed? I think that should be, the process we start from. The names can be provided. So when you come, you present your ID card and you're allowed to see the person. Now, all of these things will have to be reenacted. Strict security measures will have to be enforced. Okay? Of course, the investigations will go on, and then we know actually what happened, and then how to, implement the recommendations and whatnot. So physical security is good. We need to upgrade our, security system, the technological aspect, digital aspect of security. If it is outmoded, we need to, bring in the more recent ones that can help. But by and large, I think justice should be served quickly. We need whatever the committee will form or whatever, they should come out with recommendations in a matter of 72 hours. We deal with this, and that will serve as a deterrent to, other people who would want to foment this kind of crime.
Right. There was a clear case of a breach of security, which you have mentioned. What do you think should happen to the security personnel there?
I think, I heard a minister talking about giving psychosocial support to even the suspect. So if you are giving the suspect who knows crime is crime a psychosocial support, then you might as well give the security person a psychosocial support also. Because then he can give an excuse as to whether he went somewhere or went to eat or was not present or something. But somebody who knows that crime is crime would receive some level of support. Then this gentleman should also receive a level of support. What can happen afterwards is the company where he works for may just replace him, and that's all. So when the replacement is done, it means the new person would have to be taken through a very thorough orientation. This sometimes is not also done. As a security person manning a gate or a facility, you have, intervals to be doing patrols, walking around the facility, even, asking questions to the superiors or officers in that vicinity where you have been deployed to, man. You ask questions, is everything okay? And all of those things. So there has to be a comprehensive, training for all these security persons. And this also is in line with how the Ministry of Interior will come in now, issue directives to all private security companies to be more, vigilant with regards to the training modules they give to their personnel who we employ.
Speaking of the Interior Ministry, there are also others who are raising concerns that in sensitive areas like a health facility, a public one for that matter, it should be the duty of the Ghana Police Service to be the ones manning those places, so that at least if a patient enters there and you see the police and you're tempted to do any wrong, some fear could be instilled in you and you might as well stop what you intend to do. Do you think these private security should be replaced with Ghana Police?
No, I don't think so. Well, already we are grappling with the ratio of police to citizens. And so that's one of the issues. Unless it is a very critical institution, where by that I mean you have very essential data which can be destroyed or whatever, and personalities involved, the state security would go in. If not, these private securities are there. And I may not know much about the health sector and what will require a state security to come in, but I think there are levels to the health facility. So whatever, I think that would also determine whether security should come in or private security should come in. And all of this requires funding, okay? So if a hospital or clinic is generating internally generated funds, they may be using that to pay the private security, but the state may not be able to absorb it.
Right.
So there's a whole lot of issues surrounding how a state, security should come in and take over the work of the private company. But I think it's not the issue. I think the issue is now streamline processes and then collaborate years with them. And then when we have the rules down, we play by the books, and then everything will go well.
Right, Dr. Victor Doke, thank you very much. He's a security analyst speaking to us right here on The Pulse. The Pulse continues after this break. Don't go anywhere.